Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and today I'm checking out the Secret Neighbor party game from Arcane Wonders and Tiny Build. Hello Neighbor is a series of games that are available on a variety of platforms, which involves an unnamed kid spying on his neighbor across the street who has a door with several colored locks, and apparently he's up to something that's a little interesting, and attempts to go into the home, find the keys, unlock things, to discover the neighbor's secrets. There's also a sequel called Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which is a prequel which attempts to explain maybe why the neighbor is the way he is. It stars, that game revolves around the neighbor's family, neighbor's kids, so you play the neighbor's daughter. But I've not mentioned to you that the neighbor is the antagonist in the game, so the neighbor is wandering around, and if the neighbor catches you, you lose. And Secret Neighbor is actually a multiplayer game that came out 2019, I believe. Online multiplayer game where there's a group of kids and one of them is a secret neighbor. One of them is really the neighbor in disguise somehow. The kids have various abilities in the game. The leader, the bagger, the inventor, what have you. Kids have different abilities in the game. This is a little bit different. This is a party game that mainly revolves around having a secret identity, and there's kind of teams. There's a team of kids and a team of neighbors with one secret neighbor. So I've talked a lot about secret. I know a lot about secret. I talked a lot about it because my kids are really big fans of the video games, and I have watched and played pretty much through the original Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, and I have played my fair share of matches, and I spent a lot of time talking about the video game series. Let's open the box up and talk about the party game. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that comes in the box. You have the 3 keys you're seeking. You have all your roles, so you have 7 kids and then 3 neighbors. 2 are regular neighbors and 1 is a secret neighbor. Something you don't see very often. You have a little guide, each player. I'll see it a lot. Normally you don't get 10. And then you have 5 different abilities. You have 8 of each different object card. And then of course you have instructions and a quick start. So the game revolves around social deception. So depending on the number of players you have dictates how many kids, neighbors, secret neighbors, etc. There's always one secret neighbor, and 5 to 10, it's always a secret neighbor. So I played with 4 other people, so the minimum you can have is 5. So that means we played with 1 secret neighbor, 1 regular neighbor, and then 3 kids. So it's kind of like teams, but you don't know who is who. At this point, you would gather up all the cards that you needed, but depending on the number of players you have, deal one out randomly to everybody. You would then pick a leader for the game, person who's running it, who's also playing. They would go through a script where they would have everybody close their eyes. Secret neighbor puts their thumb up. Regular neighbors open their eyes so they can recognize each other and see who the secret neighbor is. Secret neighbor puts their thumb down. Everybody closes their eyes again. So the secret neighbor does not know who the neighbors are, but the neighbors know who the secret neighbor is and who each other are, which obviously lets them know who all the kids are. So they have more information. Everybody would randomly get 4 cards. So in order to use one of these objects, you have to have 3 of the card to use it. So the phases are a trading phase where you're talking to people, saying what you have, trying to trade up to get what you need. And then the phase after that, you can use the abilities if you collected 3 of any one of the particular objects. And if somebody happens to get the key, you can then vote. And we'll get into that in a second. The magnet is going to be the most sought after.
Magnets. Always with the magnets.
The magnet allows you to get the key. In the first game, one of the puzzles required you to use the magnet to get a key through a fence, if memory serves. But and then the key got lost. It's a whole thing. Anyway, the magnet allows you, if you have 3 of them, remember everything you have to have 3 to do it, allows you to find a key, meaning the key is on the table, you can pick it up. If somebody else already has the key, you could also use a magnet to take the key from them. The flashlight allows you to look at another player's cards. These are all object cards. You can look at the object cards and steal one. The lever allows you to mimic another ability. So in the game we played, maybe I didn't shuffle that great. I had 3 magnets. You have 4 cards. Everybody gets 4 cards. I had 3 magnets. So I got the key. My middle daughter immediately used the lever, which allows you to steal a power within 3. It says steal the power within 3 seconds of the power being announced by another player. So I announced I have a magnet. I'm going to take the key. I took the key. She was right on it. Said, nope, I have the lever. I'm taking the key. So because she basically copied the magnet and took the key from me. The box allows you to pick 3 people, and they have to give you their secret identity. Well, actually, the 3 people give the secret identity to the leader, whoever everybody picked to be the leader of the game, the person running it. They would not look at them, shuffle them up, and whoever plays the box can look at whatever those roles are. Now they're shuffled. So, but it does give you information, because if there's all kids, then you have a pretty good idea of who the neighbors are, what have you. So it can give you information. It can also kind of make you a little overconfident, thinking that you know too much, but it's useful. And then the trash can allows you to force another player to discard their entire hand. So these are the 5 abilities you can use. Like I said, you have to have 3, and there's indicators in all of them as to which ones you put in for what game. So this is a 6+ game, so you only put this one with 6. They all work the same way. This one you would put in if you have 10 people. So and there's 9+, 8+, all that stuff. So like I said, the flow of the game is going from finding out what your roles are. Everybody gets their cards. You're trading. You're saying, okay, I have a box, I want a lever. I have a lever, I want a magnet. I have this, I have one of that. And you're trying to acquire sets of these abilities to use them to get the keys. Why do you need the key? So when you have multiple keys, a kid has to use each key in order for the kids to win. The neighbors only have to use 1 key for them to win. So it's kind of stacked in favor of the neighbors a bit. That makes sense, I guess. So that is pretty much how the game goes. You are acquiring the cards, to use the abilities, to get the keys to either really unlock it or not unlock it and reveal yourself to be the neighbor. Initially, when I showed my kids the game, because they played so much Secret Neighbor, they were thinking that the kids would have their individual powers in the game, because in the Secret Neighbor video game, this kid is the bagger. He has a backpack. He can carry more. The leader can, she can call other players for help or inspire other players. This kid has a slingshot. I forgot all their names. I think this kid can find clues to help him get the keys and stuff like that. And this one can use these little gear shift things to make better weapons or items or what have you. That is how the game plays. That is a Secret Neighbor party game. So that's how the game flows. Let me tell you what my thoughts are. What I like about it is, I think, overall, even though the kids don't have their powers and stuff, I think thematically it works. I think it's a nice looking game. These keys are really nice. The cards are fine. The art is right out of the game. It all fits the theme of the Hello Neighbor universe. The HNU. Yes, I just made that up. But it probably really is a thing. It all fits. I like the way it looks. My issue is with some of the mechanics, because you're not going to give up a magnet if you have one. If you only have one, you're not giving that magnet up. You're not going to give it up for anything else, really. And one thing I did fail to mention was when you get to the end of the powers phase, if nobody votes, the leader will collect all the object cards, shuffle them up, and redistribute them to all the players. But a player can choose to keep all the cards they have. So let's say you had 4 cards and you used the trash can to make somebody get rid of theirs, but you had 1 card left. You can keep that 1 card into the next round. You only get 3 cards. Okay. The thing is, there's no cap. Everybody can, if everyone decides to keep their cards, you're kind of at a standstill, because no one's going to really get everything they need with which to get the key to even cause or trigger a vote.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
So I feel like we might have to house rules it where at the end of every round, if you have not used your cards, either you have to give them all up, maybe you can keep 1, but you have to have a way to redistribute the cards, especially at the lower player counts, because if people keep their cards, the game just ends. And if I recall looking in the book, I'm pretty sure it said that players can always keep their hand going into the next round. They don't have to give it back up to be reshuffled. They just don't get any. The lever is probably the second most sought after, because the lever, you could negate someone using the magnet, because you could just say, hey, I have the lever, now I have the magnet, now I have the key. So I feel like a lot of that will probably mitigate it at a higher player count. But I mean, it is 5 to 10 players, so it's intended to play with 5 people. Like I said, the games I played, it's kind of went down the middle. Like about half were like somebody won, and the other half were like nobody wanted to. We were at a standstill. Nobody wanted to give up anything, so the game just kind of just died on the table essentially because people had magnets and they were not giving them up. Now, maybe the way you can mitigate that with lower players is you maybe add more magnets to the game. In a 5-player game, you only put in 4 magnets. Maybe we could experiment with house ruling it, so maybe we add more magnets to create more opportunity because people weren't giving up those magnets. The trading phase is almost like a moot point. People are just going to hang on to what they hung on to. The lower player count, there are just some issues that can spring up. And it's not that they can't happen with more. I haven't played it with more, and I feel like a lot of them must be mitigated with more. So I've rambled on enough about the Secret Neighbor party game. I do like it. It is fun. If you have kids who are a fan of the games, it's fun. It's pretty quick. It's a pretty good pickup. So that is the Secret Neighbor party game.